Please welcome to the stage the host of the 2023 Dublin Literary Award, Emer O'Neill.
Hello, hello, hello. What a lovely day we have today. Welcome to you all. Lord Mayor, Deputy Chief Executive, ambassadors, councillors, distinguished guests here in the room, and those of you tuning in from all around the world. We are delighted to present to you today the 28th winner ceremony for the Dublin Literary Awards. And what a better place than right here in the heart of Dublin city centre, here in Merrion Square Park. And we're surrounded on every side of us by Dublin's rich literary history. We are delighted to announce once again be hosting the ceremony as part of the International Literature Festival Dublin, which runs through to the 28th of May. In just a few moments, we'll be hearing from the Dublin City Librarian, Mairead Owens, and Lord Mayor Caroline Conroy, who will reveal this year's winner. But before we start, we'd like to reflect on the special place that literature and storytelling holds within the heart and history of Dublin, which we are very proud to call a UNESCO City of Literature. Here is Dublin seen through the eyes of a young poet, Sarah Creightin Keogh, with her poem, Flowers Say It Better, Love.
Flowers say it better, love. There are flower sellers' stalls between the Grafton Street crowds, singing praises to each petal that walks by. They say, calm it, stall it, wait a minute. Flowers say it better, love. Chancers need white paper wrapped roses to plead their sorries, and no birthday girl's brunch is declared done without the presence of a tipsy underarm bunch. For the dates, breakups, makeups, good friends, cheer up bud and good luck hun. Today though, you're the cause to celebrate, Dublin. Down past your summer sprawled canals littered with the weekend student drinkers, air fills of bottles popping, chat rolling off of multilingual lips. You're a city for all. From here way past Portobello, the bleeding horses singing next to Cassidy's Sunday trad, tunes flowing out, loose corporate ties in. They're weak just as long as your road running to the arcade. Across the way you have me looking up. Flags flying high, waving the welcoming colours of FOF 4 finally recognised pride. Did you enjoy your day, Dublin? Do you understand, Dublin? Why we're celebrating you, Dublin? See, your streets are growing as they are rich and thick with a history developing quick. You're a weapon, you're a star, you're a ride, you're my cara, you're my home. You're a canal walk away and a morning sea swim. You're a thank you to the bus driver and a clap for a fallen drink. You're diversity, not division. Your appeal, you stand in awe and march in pride, shouting solidarity, no doom the veil. From upper to lower, from north to south, from the tip of the spires to that ground down below her, Ballia Aha split only by a halfpenny bridge Clea, and the river Dove, as soft as you are rough, a story worth to divulge, and I wish I could find the right set of words, Dublin. But the flowers say it better, love.
That was beautiful, wasn't it? Lyrical in its splendor, and it's so lovely to see all of these, places that we can recognize. Really lovely. Now, please, I would like now to welcome Dublin City Librarian Mairead Owens to the stage. Give her a round of applause. Welcome. Good to have you.
How do I follow that? I have to say I thought that was very moving, so thank you very much. So Lord Mayor, Chief Executive, ambassadors, readers, library colleagues and friends, on behalf of Dublin City Council, I wish to extend a warm welcome to you from Merrion Square Park for the 2023 Dublin Literary Award winner announcement. This very special occasion is a firm fixture in the world's literary calendar. Sponsored by Dublin City Council and coordinated by the Library Service, the Dublin Literary Award is the most valuable prize in the world for a single work of fiction in English or translated into English. It stands apart from other literary awards because it recognises both writers and readers. The triangle of writer, publisher and reader is squared off with indeed a fourth element, the global involvement of library staff who are central to the nominating process. The award is truly international in spirit, reaching out all over the globe and promoting Dublin as a city of books and a city of reading, a literary giant on the international stage. As author and previous winner Jim Crass said, "This is a prize that looks in every nook and cranny in the world to find its winners. In a few moments we will find out who has been selected as the 28th winner." This year, from a robust and interesting long list of 70 titles, our international expert judging panel, comprising of Dhiren Grifa, Gabrielle G. Badamossi, Mary Hermé, Sarah Moss, and Aronava Sinya, guided of course by our chair, Professor Chris Marash, have chosen a short list of 6 books that are different, curious, at times unsettling, but always leave the reader questioning, what if things were different? I wish to thank Chris for his guidance and support, and to say that we are indebted to these judges for their unstinting appraisal and the selection of the books and indeed the winner. Readers will have noticed that there are 4 books originating in languages other than English. Norwegian writer Per Peterson commented that the award is a crowbar on the door of the English-speaking world, where translators and writers of other languages knock. When we read stories translated from other languages, we enter other people's lives, inhabit their skin for a while, and reflect on their personal journeys. As we turn pages, we are developing our empathy muscles, growing more aware and tolerant. And I think poignant in these changing times as we come to terms with a changing and challenging world. As for the writer, winning the awards such as this is not just of monetary significance. Most feel a sense of honour because the award is from Dublin. Juan Gabriel Vasque, on winning the award in 2017, said, "It was like a homecoming." Over the years, winners have mentioned Dublin's literary greats who have influenced their own style of writing, particularly James Joyce. They are also honoured to join a list of previous winners whose writing they admire. "Books are the best of us," said Kevin Barry in 2013 when he won the award for City of Bohan. "While the cheque is very generous," commented Crass, author of winning title Harvest, "it is more the validation the award provides to every book that is nominated or longlisted or shortlisted or declared the lucky winner." The prize has allowed debut novelists Emily Ruskovich and Michael Thomas time to concentrate on new work, or in the case of Gerbrand Bakker, to buy a remote cabin where his writing could flourish. I wish to thank our patron, Lord Mayor of Dublin, Caroline Conroy, Chief Executive of Dublin, Owen Keegan, for their continued support, and also to acknowledge the encouragement we received from Richard Shakespeare. I would also like to thank Aimée van Wylik and her staff of the International Literary Festival Dublin for their work this year on the award, and to acknowledge we received from the Dublin City Arts Office team. We are, of course, honoured to partner the Dublin City Council Parks team here in Merrion Square, producing this festival, and I have to say, I think the park is at its best here this morning. I must acknowledge the Dublin City Library staff and also the commitment and dedication of Anne-Marie Kelly, Director, Dublin UNESCO City of Literature, and her amazing team who do all the heavy lifting. And finally, we as librarians are appreciative of colleagues across the world invested in awarding excellence in world literature. Thank you so much.
Great, Owens, everybody. Thank you so much for that. And thank you all, because I have to say, when I came out here, all the lovely smiles that everybody gave me, I can feel all the warmth and the energy from you all. It's lovely for those up on stage, so thank you. Now, the Dublin Literary Award has been going strong for 28 years, and this year, Dublin City Council has commissioned award-winning Irish glass artist Roshin De Butler to make a new trophy to present to this year's winner. We're going to now take a look behind the scenes of the creation of this unique piece and the inspiration behind it.
The history of making is important, and how things are made, and explaining, you know, in a subtle way that there is a hand involved in making things is very important. I think as we get further into industrial production, that, you know, the language of the hand is often hidden, and there is always a hand somewhere behind any of those processes. And so books being made, when the hand was involved in making books, there was this cradle that was used in order to punch holes in the leaves of the book, in the pages of the book. And so that became a starting point to actually cradle this award and to hold this award as something that is to be treasured. And, you know, this award is about a very democratic vote. And I think that's, you know, the fact that people love books so much. There's so much of a world that you have that is opened up through reading. The possibilities of libraries becoming these sources of escape or knowledge or diversion. There's a whole legacy behind that, and so looking at that idea of libraries, you know, being this incredible resource that we have, and the physicality of books, you know, has changed really a lot in the last number of years. But I just love both the smell and the feel of books, and I'm fascinated also by that history and archival value of books as well.
It's really fantastic, and as you can see, the awards are on display here, but it's so lovely to see, you know, where it came from and how it was made. It's so interesting, and the techniques used there, so if you do get a chance to have a look at the awards, I would recommend it. Okay, so our international judging panel has had quite a challenging task selecting the winner for this year's shortlist of exceptional novelists. Before we hear from the Lord Mayor of Dublin, and she's going to announce this year's winner, let's remind ourselves of those 6 titles. First up, we have Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, nominated by Katona Joseph Library of Bach, Kishun County in Hungary. The Trees by Percival Everett, nominated by the Free Library of Philadelphia, USA. Parades by Fernando Melchor, translated by Sophie Hughes, nominated by Biblioteca Daniel Cosio Villegas, Mexico. Marzahn Mon Amour by Katja Oskamp, translated by Joe Heinrich, nominated by Stadtbucherin Düsseldorf, Germany. Love Novel by Ivana Saiko, translated by Mima Simic, nominated by Rijeka City Library, Croatia. M by Kim Twee, translated by Sheila Fishman, and nominated by Hartford Public Library, USA. Okay, and now the moment that we've all been waiting for. Can you please put your hands together and give a very, very warm welcome to the patron of the award, Lord Mayor of Dublin, Caroline Conroy. She will receive or reveal this year's winner. Welcome, Caroline. Great to see you again, love.
Hello, I'm delighted to be here. I feel like I'm at the Oscars. I have an envelope. I'm going to open the envelope. Ooh. Okay. As Lord Mayor of Dublin, it's my pleasure to announce this year's Dublin Literary Award winner, and to once again to thank the judges for their commitment in selecting the winner from a long list of 70 books. Well done. So now I'm very pleased to announce that the 28th Dublin Literary Award winner is Marzan Mon Amour by Katya Ocamp. I just need to finish a few things. So this is translated from German into English by Joe Henrik and published by Pioneer UK. And may I offer my congratulations to Katya and Joe for their remarkable achievement. And I want to welcome this year's Dublin Literary Award winners to the stage.
Might have a quick photo up. Yeah? Okay, so winner Katya Ocamp and translator Joe Heinrich will now be presented with their prizes and 2 cheques to the value of €100,000 by Dublin City Librarian Mairead Owens and our Chief Executive of Dublin City Council, Owen Keegan. Let me grab these. Lord Mayor, you head on this side. Do you want to just move right here? Do you want to go again? More? You good? He's gone. They're gone. That's it. He said, I'm here, I'm gone, you're welcome. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to Katya and Joe to say a few words. Congratulations. Come on. The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, one day in May 2015, I was sitting in a white smock in front of a pink chiropody chair in Marzahn, battling with Frau Rusig's feet. Not that Frau Rusig's feet were especially complicated, but I was just a beginner. I had spent 15 years working as a writer. I had written 3 books. My last manuscript had been rejected by 20 publishers, and I had slipped into a writer's block. I didn't want to be a writer anymore. I wanted to be a chiropodist. I had finished a suitable course a few days before. Frau Rusig, a humble woman, sat quietly in the chair watching me. She was patient with her beginner. She encouraged me, and her 80-year-old eyes smiled at me knowingly. If Frau Rusig had told me that 8 years later, in May 2023, I would be standing here in Marion Square Park receiving the Dublin Literary Award, I would have said that she was suffering from a particularly unusual form of dementia. But this highly unlikely event has come about. Here I stand, incredulous and proud, an East German author, having written a book about East German people in an East German district, and I would like to thank you all. I'd like to thank the patron of the Dublin Literary Award, Lord Mayor Caroline Conroy. I'd like to thank the Chief Executive of Dublin City Council, Owen Keegan, and Dublin City Council for sponsoring the Dublin Literary Award. Thanks also to the Dublin City Librarian, Mairead Owens, and the staff of Dublin City Libraries. And thank you to the library that nominated the book, Stadtbüchereien Düsseldorf in Germany. And thank you to the judges for selecting Marzahn Mon Amour from a long list of 70 books. The crazy story that reaches its high point here today began with my amazing, worldly wise clients to whom I owe so much, women like Frau Rusig. It took another step when a literary editor who had not forgotten me invited me to write something for an online platform in 2017, when I was doing roughly my 1,500th foot. I wrote about Frau Guse, Herr Paulke, Frau Blumeyer. Gradually a series came about, and I can clearly remember the summer's day in 2018 when I was sitting in the publisher Carsten Kredel's kitchen, and he spontaneously decided to make a book out of the stories while he was feeding his little daughter some pasta. The book would never have become what it was without the writer Thomas Hürlimann, my partner at this time, supporting my writing process with all his wisdom and experience. It was published in the summer of 2019. My readership grew, but so did my clientele. And at this point, I would like to thank my favorite colleague from Marzahn, Heike. Without her standing in for me at the chiropody chair so I could go to book events, my double life would have imploded. In January 2020, I received an email from a woman by the name of Jo Heinrich. She wrote about her hopes to translate the book into English. It would be her first attempt at literary translation. An email conversation developed with Jo, and I soon realized from her questions how carefully, precisely, and in depth she was going into my world of Marzahn. Jo was obsessed with the details of the East Berlin dialect. She managed to translate untranslatable words, and she translated complex combinations of emotions into another language with great sensitivity. Jo contacted publishers, and it was the small, young, independent Pyrene with Stella Sabin and James Tukey who took the plunge with Jo. Dear Jo, dear James, dear Stella, thank you. Through your courage, the stories from Marzahn found their way into the big wide world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the libraries that make the Dublin Literary Award unique. From all over the world, they nominate books and bring the wealth and richness of literature into view every year. Libraries today must achieve the balancing act of being both old-fashioned and modern. They must preserve the printed book and at the same time reach out to the digital future. I have a confession to make. Apart from the immense hoard of books, what I love most about libraries is their human resources. In these times of online forms, call center automation, and chatbots, human resources make my heart skip a beat. These are people of flesh and blood, well-read people who make recommendations, who help you find a book, and who sometimes can stop for a chat. 2 years ago, I fell in love with one of these human resources, with a Marzahn librarian, and ever since, as you might imagine, I've been walking on air. In a world that becomes slicker, glitzier, and more two-dimensional, libraries are the quirky, eccentric, three-dimensional local heroes. They are big battleships that need space and human resources. Libraries are places that combat isolation, just like a chiropody salon. Frau Rusig came every 6 weeks and became a regular of mine. Once she told me how beautifully the lilacs were blossoming in her garden. Another time, how happy she was that her daughter had helped her clean the windows. Often, Frau Rusig and I entered a harmonious silence that gave me confidence. I would massage her feet, first the right one, then the left, help her put on her socks. Frau Rusig would put her shoes on, pick up her handbag, look at me kindly, and say what I'd also like to say to you now: thank you so, so much.
I'd also like to thank Lord Mayor Caroline Conroy, Dublin City Council and its Chief Executive Owen Keegan, as well as Dublin City Librarian Mairead Owens and the staff of Dublin City Libraries. And of course, thank you so much to the judges for selecting our lovely little book. It's unbelievable. A huge thanks to Stadtbücherei in Düsseldorf for nominating us. Vielen Dank. And to all the libraries all over the world whose nominations made the long list so very interesting, and consequently the shortlist too. Back at home, my library is now a cafe, a very lovely cafe, admittedly, but I worry about the future. I worry that a van full of books parking up for 4 hours a week won't be enough to pass on a love of reading to a village's children. I want to thank Katja, of course, for her book, for her wonderful, taut, empathetic writing, and for her patience, kindness, and generosity with my pernickety questions, and for her friendship. When you translate a book, you get to work so closely with it that you completely inhabit it, and it starts to inhabit you too. So to be able to spend my long winter COVID lockdown in Katja's world with its empathy, kindness, and love was a true gift. And thanks too to all the real people behind this book. Here's to Gerlinde Bonkert, to Erwin Fritscher, to Frau Frenzel, and all the others. And I'd also like to pay tribute to all the other people with untold stories of a country swept under the carpet. I'd also like to thank my book club back home for telling me to get out there and do something a few years ago, which ultimately led to me taking up translation. When I started looking around for something literary to work on, this book arrived in my life, and I can remember talking to a friend about it and about Frau Blumeyer, and I said, I think this might be the one. So I translated a few pages, and I wrote to Stella at Pairini, and here I really need to thank her. I was nervous, never having written to publishers before, and instead of my translation, I attached the German file. And I'll never understand why she wrote back to me to ask for a translation instead of just binning my email. But I'm forever, forever grateful to her for that and for her faith in me as an unknown translator. This book has brought me and all of us so much good luck. And I'd also like to thank the editors, Geisha Ibsen, Sarah, Terry, Leslie, and Stella again, who all improved the book beyond measure. And also my first editor, my friend Tamar, the first person ever to read through the English version for me in return for nothing other than coffee and cinnamon buns. I can't get over the warm reception this book has had and the way people have really taken it into their hearts. The last few weeks have been mind-blowing for a newbie translator. My concentration span has been decidedly lacking since I heard we'd be here in Dublin. But this is the absolute high point of my life, and I really cannot thank you all enough.
Wow, such powerful words, and I think, sometimes you forget what actually goes into the making of this, of these amazing novels. And thank you so much for sharing with us and being so candid, both you, Joe, and Katja. So there you have it. Marzanne Monamour, this year's Dublin Literary Award winner. Búlabus. Anawa Airpods. Anawa Airpods. So congratulations to you both. And be sure to pick up your copy of the winning novel at the festival's bookshop or in your local library. I would like to thank you all for being such a brilliant audience. And of course, those of you online from around the world, wherever you may be, thank you for tuning in. I would like to bring our attention to Aoife Harrington. She is our ISL interpreter. Thank you very much. And also a huge thank you to Dublin Literary Awards for your inclusiveness, your diversity, and your visibility. It is seen and it is appreciated. Now, you are all welcome to stick around and enjoy some beverages, and of course the DJ, Kathy Flynn. So I hope to see you all around and stick around for chats, and of course you will also have the opportunity tomorrow. Both Joe and Katya will be here in this building at 6:15, and they're going to be speaking with Rick O'Shea as part of the International Literature Festival Dublin. So they'll be talking in more depth about the book. And if you are interested in that, please, you need to book, either if you're going to be here in person or online, you need to book at ilfdublin.com. Thank you so much.